Scorpion, snakes, and pussy cake? Yes, I'm still talking about Basketball Wives, and we're going to talk about the episode coming up.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Listen. You bring out the animal.
All of the animals.
That's a good
Jackie,
one.
Yeah.
I like that you picked that.
Nice
Jackie
choice, girl.
Thank you.
Awesome job.
Try to do a little something.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
I like that.
I'm impressed.
Thank you guys for joining us tonight. I'm Lynneisha. You guys can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Lynneisha_33. Light panel today. Michelle is out and Tequila, but they'll be joining us soon, later on this next week or so.
Yep.
And we do have a special guest. Bonnie-Jill is in the building today.
Thank you for having me. This is fun.
Well,
Talk a little bit basketball wise.
Yeah.
And, see what you guys think.
Love it. Love it. Where can we find you on social media?
Social media at BJ Laflin for Twitter and at Bonnie-Jill on Instagram and Facebook, Bonnie-Jill Laflin.
Okay.
Perfect.
Cool, yeah.
And to tag team off of that, hi guys, I'm Laura L. Thomas. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Laura L. Thomas TV.
Now, before we get into the episode, I do want to talk about you a little bit, Bonnie-Jill, or do you prefer BJ?
Whatever you want.
Okay.
BJ Bonnie-Jill is not Bonnie. You're all good with me.
just not fun. Okay. Now, what I love about you is you were a cheerleader turned businesswoman, turned like badass. And I love that because most people think, pretty face, cheerleader, whatever, that's so fluffy and you really won't amount to anything. Sorry to say. You know what I mean? That's what
very
people
true.
think, you know what I mean? But you are a sportscaster and really you work with the NBA teams, an NBA scout. So tell us a little bit about your career outside of
I
Basketball Wives.
started cheering in the NBA for the Golden State Warriors. Go Warriors. Go Dubs.
Yeah.
I got a shout out for that. And then I started cheering for the 49ers and then went to the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. But I was going to school as well at University of Texas because you got to make sure you're getting your education. 'Cause you got to look long term. Some girls think of like the very short time frame and they don't understand you got to know what you're going to do after. You can't be a cheerleader all your life. And you're very right because there's a stereotype with cheerleaders or any girl who has somewhat of a I don't want to just say just a pretty face, but girls who are just not the norm. They kind of like say, okay, well, they're probably just going to be kind of pigeonholed into one certain type of occupation. And I'm one of those that likes to prove people wrong. And so since a very small age, I always wanted to be working in sports, not just, as a cheerleader. That was my way that I was able to kind of get in.
Kind of get in the door.
Yeah, and I was a dancer all my life, professional ballerina, and then I love sports. So what's that's the best way to combine the two,
Yeah.
and to get the best seats in the house and to network, and and that's what I kind of did. I became very good friends with the owners of the Cowboys, the Jones family, and I hate to say it, but sometimes it's a lot about who you know and talent as well, but who you know helps you get at least in the door.
Yeah,
and so I was able to network, to meet a lot of people, and to take it to the next level. And after that, I was working for ESPN. Then came to CBS and was working covering the Lakers, and then from there, the late Dr. Jerry Buss and Mitch Kupchak said, "Hey, we really want to try a female as a scout." And I said, "Okay." So I did it for a year, not getting paid, because I really loved it. And then after that, they loved my scouting reports and signed me to a 5-year deal and another 5-year deal, making me the first and only female scout in the NBA.
Wow, congratulations to that. That's
Yes.
awesome, right?
So basically, like, you haven't been busy at all.
Right.
Not at all. Like, I just sleep and just like drink wine, and that's it.
Just hang out and eat bonbons. No, that's
Right.
amazing,
Right.
Bonnie-Jill. So, did you grow up as an athlete, and is that why you were always drawn to the sports world, or what drew you to that?
And I was very close to my father, and
Okay.
so he had season tickets to the Warriors and the Giants and the Niners. 'Cause I grew up in the Bay Area, and he just I always wanted to go where Dad went,
Yeah.
and then I just had like a love for it. And I also played sports. I played softball, and grew up on a horse ranch, so it was riding horses all my life.
Awesome.
And so I just I just loved it. And I just wasn't that typical kid who wanted the foam finger or like bothering Dad throughout the whole game. I'm asking my dad like, who's that, and how fast does he run the 40, and this and this, and my dad's like, "You're too little. Why are you asking questions like that?" But I just had some love for it and passion for it, and eventually I could make it a career. And so it's nice. It's like I work, but at the same time I can't call it like work because I love what I
'cause
do.
you love it,
Yeah, which is the best kind of work.
Right.
It's what we all
Absolutely.
aspire to.
Right?
And not that it's not hard and blood, sweat, and tears, but it's at the end of the day, I love what I do. And
Right. It's
fun.
not something you dread doing. You wake up in the morning, and it's
Right.
like, I have to go here.
Right.
You
You
like
tell
it.
me that story about your dad, and you remind me of that girl, the little young Hayden Pantier.
Yes,
People
from
told me
Remember the
that.
Titans.
Remember
Really?
the Titans.
Yes, 100%. I'm like, that's what I picture in my mind.
That's
Yeah.
me when I was little. Like,
Really?
Yes, and like just calling off stats and plays and routes and just and then I'm still like that. If I go to a bar and there's a bunch of guys talking, the guys will turn around and be like, I'm like, yeah, I know more sports than you, so shut up. And so I just love it,
I do. I love that. My question to you. Sorry to
Oh,
just
no,
like keep
we
rolling
both-
here,
girl.
but do you? So I know that you worked both for the NBA and the NFL as a professional dancer. Yes.
Right.
So which do you prefer?
It's funny, as a dancer, I loved dancing in the NBA because we have the court and you could really dance, if that makes sense, because you have the floor and there's not really any weather conditions you have to worry about because you're in
Sure.
the arena. But in the NFL, it's more of a look, and
Yeah.
kind of you get to dance, but it's more of like the overall look. Like for NBA, they choose you on your dance ability,
Yeah.
and then when the NFL, they kind of the whole look.
Gotcha.
So I love both. I mean, I can't really knock either. I loved dancing, so that's why I
Yeah.
liked NBA. But at the same time with the NFL and the Dallas Cowboys, that was such a huge stepping stone and so much exposure to try to do more after that.
That's what I was gonna say. It's not just like dancing in the NFL, but Dallas Cowboy cheerleader,
Right, yeah, 'cause
which
they're-
is a
they're like
cut
top
above.
of the line. Yeah.
They're the
know?
the top of the top. And when I first went to cheer for the Cowboys, I was used to Niners and Warriors, where they they clap for us, but not a big deal. But then when they announced, the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, America's sweethearts, often imitated, never duplicated, everyone started standing up. I was like, oh, someone must be. Emmett Smith must have ran out on the court. On the field. And no, they were standing up for us.
That's amazing.
So it's pretty neat that the fans really. That's part of the. If you think about Dallas Cowboys, you think of the cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. As much as the team, they're just as much of a team
Yeah.
as anybody else.
Right.
So
Very much
that's
so.
really great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Love
It
it.
is. Like I said, I'm proud of you for
Oh,
that.
thank
What I mean?
you.
Making that transition. I think that's
Thank
awesome. That's
you.
definitely showing women empowerment.
Right, and especially for women, I just feel like we can do whatever we put our
Yeah,
mind to.
we definitely
and I
can.
don't care what career it is. If it's a male-dominated career, doesn't mean a woman can't.
Oh yeah,
Get
girl.
in there and own it.
And I love the way you portray women empowerment unlike Jackie
Oh,
with her
girl.
party.
That
So
girl.
let's tap into the episode a little bit.
Okay, yes.
Oh gosh.
I
Okay,
know.
first of all, I gotta know about this party. First of all, that
Right.
dress that you wore at that party
Yeah,
was
that dress is beautiful.
fire.
Oh, thank you.
It was so. I saw the very back of it, and I like paused it. I was like, "Was that Bonnie-Jill?"
Thank you.
I want to see that dress. That
yeah,
dress was
my friend
amazing.
Stephanie Naylor, she used to work for Michael Costello, and she went off on her own. So she's just starting off. So could you tell it how the Costello
Yeah,
kind of
it
feel?
did.
Oh, yeah.
You did.
But she's on her own, so I've been kind of pushing her brand out.
Oh well, we will
that's good.
definitely
That was
tweet
beautiful
that out
dress.
and
Yeah.
add it to our to the link on our YouTube page, guys. So check it out there because you can find it out there if you miss it. We'll tweet it out and Instagram it and all the fun things. But that's awesome.
Thank you.
That's
Yes.
so beautiful. All right, this party.
What did you guys think just watching it?
Just watching it, I was like, well, first of all, the previous episode when she was trying to pick the cake, it's like, okay, where are we going with this? All right, fine. You want to love your body. We're going to, praise the woman body. Okay.
And I'm all for that.
But so that's why I was like, okay, well, this party may be interesting. But then we get to the party, and it's like an S&M kind of thing. Like I said, we had the scorpions there, some snakes, and it was just so much. And then the actual version of the cake that they did, it was just a lot.
Raunchy.
Very
It was-
raunchy.
It was uncomfortable to watch.
It was.
Was it
Okay.
uncomfortable to be there?
Thank you, because it was very uncomfortable. The whole time I kept saying, look at the producer, like, can I?
Like,
Well, I felt like everybody was. Evelyn was like,
everyone.
"How long do I have to stay here? Like, what do I need to
Yeah.
do?" It just
And
was
I didn't
so
really
awkward.
know what I was getting myself into. I'll be honest. They just said wear a little more, show a little more skin than you normally would, and it's gonna be, So I wasn't really realizing. I wish I would have said more like it's gonna be
Like
an
what the
S&M
party
party. So when I
was,
walked up
yeah.
the stairs and there's a guy with a whip,
You were, like,
I would have been
prepared?
prepared for that. And so I just kind of was like, okay,
yeah.
can we go?
Exactly. We both were like, we would have been so uncomfortable. Like at some point, I would have had to leave.
Right, and to each its own. It's just not my
Yeah.
crowd.
Yeah,
so
of
I wasn't
course.
comfortable, you
Yeah.
know. And there was a lot of people that they didn't even show walking around with just completely exposed. And I don't know. I just felt like it was just dirty. You know what I'm saying? I didn't
No,
want
I
to
totally
sit. I didn't want to
understand.
I didn't like use the restroom. I had to pee the whole time. But I'm like, I'm just gonna hold it because I don't want to go to that same restroom they're using.
No,
is that mean?
No.
it's not mean
Yeah.
because again, it's like it's just not your crowd. It's not your
Yeah.
scene. It's to each his own. But it just seemed so drastic.
Yeah.
Just
Very
like
over the top.
just such a drastic choice of a party to have. To call it the love your body
Yeah.
party, you need to call it the love your bondage party.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like
Prepare
call it the
people.
party, and then that I'll know what I'm walking
Or
myself into.
Exactly.
open to your sexuality party. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Something
something
that
like
made more
that.
sense. 'Cause
Right.
This wasn't. I was thinking more of an empowerment time.
Yes.
I don't know. It's
Do
not with
speeches
this.
here and there. Like,
Yeah,
you know?
I don't know. Just something right, something different. Like everyone goes around and says, "Well, they're." I don't know.
Yeah.
Like just not that.
Not that at all. So were dudes allowed to go to that? I mean,
Yes.
were the guys there? What was their impression of the whole thing?
Well, they were all in the bondage stuff and the leather.
No. I
Well,
mean,
not-
your
yeah.
guys. Like
Oh
your guys.
no.
Okay. Okay.
I feel like I bet your guy was happy he decided not
Yeah.
to go. Because when you guys were at dinner with Jackie and Doug, he was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll go. And then Doug was like, And he's like, oh, well, I'm not going either.
Yeah, I should have taken that hint, right? That it's gonna be
Right.
something kind of different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Because
Well,
Doug was like, oh, I won't be there.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was very curious to see, because we don't see everything obviously on these kind of things, but I was very curious to see if any of the guys. made
Nope,
it
they
out.
weren't allowed.
Oh, okay. Well, it's probably for the best. Let's
Yeah.
be honest.
Right. 'Cause, yeah, Kareem would have said we're going.
Yeah. Walked in and walked right back
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And then they had a lot of animals, if anyone knows me, I'm this, big animal activist, so I didn't like that they had these, like, snakes and rabbits being passed around, and who knows what they're doing with them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
is it bestiality? Like, I don't
Yeah,
know,
because
y'all.
people
I
have
just
that
kind
fetish
of,
too. They have an
thank
animal
you.
fetish. That's a thing.
And so when I saw the scorpion, so I kept going up to, like, people say, that snake needs to go, that rabbit needs to go, the scorpions don't touch him. Like, but they
Yeah.
didn't show that. But I was, like, kind of like, damn it. I was trying to, like, that's why I didn't want to leave, because I was, like, the animal wrangler, making sure these animals,
Well, yeah.
this scorpion doesn't go up someone's ass or something. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, right?
I've heard some weird
Seriously.
stories. That's all
That's
I know.
what I'm
I've heard
saying.
some
Yeah.
weird
That's
stories.
why I was like, okay, no, PETA is here, and this will not be happening.
So, and speaking of the whole animal thing, we talked a little bit about this off camera,
Yeah.
but there is a whole puppy culture of this that ties into this whole S&M sort of thing that Tammy alluded to in the episode.
Right. And because Jackie came in, she had made her grand entrance, and
With
she
the
came in
leash.
with a leash. She was on a leash. She was like, well, so I guess I'm not sure who it was, but she was
I think it was
submissive
Kiana,
to,
right?
Was it?
Kiana.
Oh, it was Kiana.
I thought it was Kiana. I
missed
know.
that. But yeah, so she was Kiana submissive and with the whole leash and everything. And I was like, okay. But then, yeah, you found out about the puppy play.
Yeah.
Wait, what is that again?
So apparently there's a whole community, and guys, please tweet me or Instagram me or DM me and let me know if I'm incorrect. I'm very, very green in this world. I am married.
Yes, me too.
I have been for a long time, and so this is not my forte. But I did some reading, and I did find that there is a whole culture of men and women who basically like to play like they're puppies.
I thought you were going to say puppies were involved.
No,
I was
ma'am.
like, you better tell me where. Because I will take this
No,
puppies.
she was about to go off.
Yeah, so I was like, where is this at? Because I'm going to raid this place after the show.
No. Thank goodness that's not
Do
the
they
case.
dress up like puppies?
Yeah, so basically, the story that I read was sort of something where a man walks into, say, like a bar and holds up a pink ball, and all of a sudden, whoever participates in this community stops what they're doing and watches, and then he throws the ball, and they ferociously bark, and they chase the ball, and it's a whole thing. Now, what I did go on to read was that sometimes it is this it's not necessarily a sexual thing, that it's meant to be sort of this thing of empowerment or learning how to not get so much in your head and just play and be a part of life. And I
sure.
think that may be the point of what
Okay.
the culture is.
You're going to make me Google this now.
I know. Everybody Google it and
I'm
tell
gonna
me
look
that I'm
up-
wrong.
I'm
what
gonna
this
look it up some
is.
more
But
as
it was
well.
really
Like, what is this?
Do you
fascinating.
dress up like a puppy too?
I think so.
Oh,
I
well, that's
think-
kind of cute, I
I think
guess.
so. Yeah. So what I did end up reading actually was that it was less a sexual act and more of
Okay.
a kind of companionship or comfort or
Still kind of weird.
It is.
well, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
do your thing, but that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, to each his own.
To each
Yeah.
its own,
But-
yes.
Yeah.
Not my jam.
Yeah, as long as you're not hurting anyone or animals, we're good.
Yeah.
That's right.
guess
How
it's-
many animals do you have?
On what day? Right now?
Today.
I have 3 dogs and 3 cats.
Okay.
And then I have horses as well. They don't live with me, my horses, but yeah, a lot of animals. And then my parents have a 30-acre ranch, so they have tons of
Oh, that's
animals.
awesome. Yeah.
We rescue all these dogs and cats and chickens and goats and pigs and cows and turkey. And
Wow.
Yeah.
So, have you always been have you always had this sort of activist side of you in terms of animals?
Yeah, I think
comes to
again
that?
it was at a small age. I think everything that is kind of a passion of mine, sports, animals, and the military, was instilled in me as a child, and it kind of just stuck. And so animals my mom used to rescue dogs back when it was called the Pound. But it's called the Pound.
Yeah.
And so we just and then I always just kind of just loved animals and felt more connected to animals than people. So that's where it kind of just came from. And then after that, it just came kind of a mission for me to save animals and be kind of a voice for them.
That's awesome. Well, you certainly are. Are you an only child?
I'm not. I have a little brother.
You have a brother? Okay.
Yeah, I think if I do next season, he'll be on the show a little bit.
Oh,
See him.
okay.
He's a character. He's pretty funny.
Is he single? Is he cute?
He's
old
yeah.
is he?
Come up with something?
Yeah,
Lynneisha,
so
you looking?
he's gay.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
Yeah,
Not Lynneisha.
very good looking. He looks like Antonio Sapato, like Ricky Martin type. He looks a little more Latin than I do, but yeah.
Oh.
But he's always out in the town in West Hollywood at the Abbey.
Spicy. What happens at the Abbey?
Right?
He's at the Abbey.
So we're different. It's which is funny. So my brother's more into like fashion and what's going on, and I'm like into sports. Like he
Right.
wouldn't know who won the Super Bowl, and he'll tell me like, "Oh, that you shouldn't wear that." You know?
How awesome. What's
Yeah.
the age difference between you guys?
7 years.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Oh, great.
So I was really used to being an only child.
Yeah.
So when he came around, I was like, you got to go. There's only one. There's only room for one of us, and you came. Yeah. Like,
Now spot's taken.
I was setting my weight. You're 7 years
Yeah.
old, and all of a sudden, this little alien's born. I'm like, what are you? Why
Wait
are
a
you
second.
here? So,
Yeah.
But now
Exactly.
we're closer now. But growing up,
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
not at all.
Okay.
That was kind of my brother and I. Like,
Really?
Yeah, we're about kind of almost 5 years apart.
But you know
and
it's
so-
too much time.
Yeah, and then it was like, I mean, I was only 4, but still, it was like, I know my parents. These are my parents.
This
you
is
know
my
what I mean? Like,
territory.
yeah,
and-
exactly.
Yeah, and you need
So
to live
we-
somewhere else.
Are we
Been
all
here for a
oldest
while.
children here?
No, I'm a middle, but I'm the
middle.
only girl.
Oh,
Okay.
So I have that.
I'm the oldest, but I'm the oldest of 6. So
Oh, wow.
I never had a time where I didn't have a kid around me.
Wow. Well, that's the South, so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that is
my,
true.
my brother and I are 11 months apart. And
Oh,
so,
well, see, you're probably really close then.
Yeah, we are.
I'm sure we'd be closer if we were, the age gap wasn't so big.
yeah, and then there's 8 years between me and my youngest biological brother, and then my youngest brother is actually 9. He was adopted. So
See, that's what I want to do. I want to adopt.
yeah,
I'm really into that.
super.
That'll be
it's
cool.
definitely an awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I thought this was funny when you said this on the show, but did people kind of come at you from wanting to be like a puppy mom? Like, you were like, if I could have
Oh my
a
gosh,
puppy.
yeah. People were like, "Oh, you're crazy." I'm like, "No, if I could birth like puppies, I probably would have a bunch because they're so cute." And and then all they just go on a leash and go, and I don't have to like have them crying in the middle of the night.
right.
Yeah,
Because if I don't get my sleep, I'm like psycho.
girl.
And so that's why I want to adopt like a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Yeah.
10-year-old.
at least have them potty trained, right?
A 16-year-old, so then he can like help me with errands and stuff.
You
And
could
then,
be
yeah.
your like Uber driver.
Yeah,
at
that's
the same time.
No, but I don't know if like child's for everyone.
Yeah.
And at least I can admit that.
Yeah,
you
and I
know?
think it's good to admit that instead of getting to, trying to please someone else, you have a child, and then you may not be the best mother because it's not what you want.
And I
you
feel like
know?
a lot of people are selfish, but they still have a child. And I know that I'm selfish, and I'm all about like my career and so forth. And so I want to be a good mom. I don't want my kids be raised by a nanny. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I kind of feel like it's not for me. So I really am into like adopting. I go to a lot of third world countries and see so many children that need homes. And if I could provide something like that when there's so many that need a home, I adopt dogs and cats. Why wouldn't I
Right.
adopt a child?
Absolutely.
So that's what I would love to do, like adopt a child from like Haiti or Dominican or something like that.
Yeah,
Is
that would be
is
awesome.
Cream into that as well?
Well, he has 2 children already, so I
Okay.
think that's nice that he can already say he's got. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he would love to have.
That's really good. That kind of
child.
works for you, so you
Right.
don't have that pressure
Exactly.
in the relationship.
Thank
to,
you.
Yeah,
Right,
give him
and so
kids.
he's always like, "Oh, don't you want to have one of your own?" I'm like, I'm not that egotistical. Like I don't need to have one of my own, a little, mini me. But if it happened, it happens. But I really would love to just be able to provide a home for a child who really needs it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That would be
absolutely.
awesome.
Well, there's plenty of those out there, so
Yeah.
I applaud you.
Exactly.
Applaud you.
I also like you this episode. We saw a lot more of you this episode.
Yeah,
so
I
that was good. I
know.
was excited. I'm like, oh great, she's coming on this.
Yeah,
this
a lot of
episode,
people,
we're seeing
and
her
we never
more.
know what's
Yeah.
going to happen, so it worked out good. But,
Yeah.
a lot of people are like, oh, well, how come you're not in certain episodes? I'm like, well, I actually like work. Like, I have like a job,
Right.
Yeah.
like, I have to pay bills and such, and don't have my husband or someone taking care of that. So, I love what I do. So there's so many times where they were filming, and I had to cover the NBA All-Star game, or I had to cover the Super Bowl, or, whatever it may be, and that's kind of a first priority to me.
Yeah, that's your check.
Absolutely.
Your real check.
Yeah. So it worked out. That there's times I could come, and so that's why you saw a lot of me this past episode.
So yeah.
Well, I'm really happy that we did because I'm a super fan.
Yeah, we got to know you a little bit better and your personality, which I like because I like how you kind of confronted Malaysia, but not in a catty way, but just kind of calling her out on her stuff. You know?
I mean, there's no need to be catty. We're grown women, which I think people need to remember is that we're grown women. A lot of women have kids, grandkids, so there's a way you can approach a friend, another female about a situation without it getting crazy and fighting and all that. You can just tell them they're wrong and they can take it or not.
Right.
Yeah. You gotta have friends that are willing to have the hard conversations with you.
Yes, definitely.
Right. And I like Malaysia. Like, I don't dislike her. I just think that what happened in bringing her best friend Brandy into that situation, we all saw that the girls didn't really want her there. I thought it was just wrong.
Oh,
and it caused a really big kink in the whole vacation. Like, it was it was somewhat of our time for us to bond, and it ended up being like a bad deal, and the girls left, and I got stuck staying there, and so anyway.
And it was also like time for you guys to kind of bounce back from all the drama that happened in the house. So it was like, a release, and now we can all kind of come back together, and then boom, this Malaysia drops this bomb by bringing Brandy.
Right, and the next day we were going to go to the pool, we were going to the spa, we had all these plans, and so it really I don't know.
Well, I can always appreciate somebody who's willing to call something for what it is and to say some, just and not in a mean way, not in a malicious way, but just is able to call something out and say, hey, this is not cool.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what I love about you on the show is that you seem to be the straight shooter, the sort of voice of reason a lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean, I try to be. I'm not perfect either, but I try to just bring the girls, because there's times where I feel like we're all women, like we should be lifting each other up, and like why can't we ever go out or do something without any drama?
Right.
Like I hate that. That's that's fine every now and then, but we're gonna have conflict. We know that, but we can't go to dinner one time without like shit going down.
Right.
I mean, come on.
I want to ask you about dinner with Sania in Palm Springs.
Yeah. And they edited it out, which is so funny, because a lot of people go, "Oh, you didn't say anything to her." I actually said to her.
That's what Kristen said. Kristen told us when she was here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
she was
it
like,
was
"No,
actually
she stuck up for herself."
I actually said, "Excuse me." I said, "I may be the quiet one or the one you think you could say something to." I said, "But don't ever talk to me like that." But they edited it out for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Well, we got it here, and that's if nothing
that's
else.
Scoop.
We
That's
need,
an exclusive, guys.
Yeah, and I was upset because everyone goes, "Oh, look at she's a punk. She didn't say anything back." I'm all, "Oh no, I said something back."
Right. Yeah.
And I just thought, because the whole thing was just ridiculous. Like, all of a sudden she tells me to shut up. I wasn't even talking either, which is weird. I'm all, what?
Yeah. Have you known her? Did you know her before Palm Springs?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not. And I kind of go off first impressions. I know that can be, judgmental, whatever it is, what it is. But she really did not come off professionally.
Not at all.
She said she's a stylist. And so professionally and personally, I think she made herself look really bad, And whether it's for more airtime, whatever it is, you still have to remember, like, when the show's done, you got to deal with a lot. And I think she, really, didn't do herself justice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's not who she is. And I don't know anything but that.
Yeah.
So I've kind of just gone off of that and other things, and it's always kind of the same. So I'm just like, okay, that's someone that may be in the circle at times, but it's not someone I would hang out with
outside
of
of that.
Right. Well, and unfortunately, we live in a day and age where once something's out there, it's really hard to pull it back.
Yeah.
And really hard to take it back. And I think she, like you said, has put herself in a lot of compromising situations that maybe might come back.
And I don't think it was worth it.
No.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna kind of say. Like, at the same time, we're also in a world with this social media and all the drama. I was kind of talking about that earlier. Where it's bad that you may watch something that seems interesting, but you don't have that conflict as much. You don't have that drama, so you don't feel that interested in it.
Yeah.
But I think that's the thing. Like, she just wanted to come in and be so dramatic, and maybe they'll want to bring me back because I bring all this attitude and drama and these problems.
And you nailed it, exactly that. And I just don't think and if you're a stylist, I don't know one woman who's going to want her to style them. Am I
Exactly.
right? She
No.
putting her
Not at
down
all.
and saying all that stuff. Like, so
Not at
professionally, I
all.
think it was not good for her.
Not at all.
Because you want the stylist to do the complete opposite.
Thank
make
you.
feel
Build
better.
you up.
Yes.
Not make you
Like,
feel bad about yourself, make you cry. Like, I don't know who wants that.
Yeah, no.
Maybe some S&M person who likes weird shit or something. I don't know.
It's like scorpions in their booty.
Right, exactly.
Sting me. I like it.
Yeah.
Speaking of some a lack of S&M, so we actually talked about Malaysia, or dropped this little bomb tonight that she wants to not drink and not have sex until marriage. What do we think about that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was
She
talking
did.
to her sister. You know, she's because she's divorced from her husband. She's been dating a few people.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
She dated a rapper, I believe, and so she's like, "Oh, I'm tired of the boys, and I want to settle down with someone." So she's gonna lock it up until that time comes.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah, I think that's awesome.
I think it's
Yeah.
awesome too. I'm celibate as well, but also I'm single as fuck. So I don't know. I don't know how truly celibate I am.
I'm celibate, but that's called marriage.
Oh, that's
I'm just kidding.
gosh,
I'm just kidding, Jason. I love you.
That's funny. No,
So
I
it's
actually
like,
respect
but-
that. I think
yeah,
that's great.
so I think,
you
yeah,
know, and I think
because-
she's into her faith, you know, so that's good.
Yeah, because like she said, her sister was like, test the waters. And she's like, I tested the waters and he ran away with my box. But just meaning like, you know, the guy will take a piece of you. And, you know, if you're not careful, kind of all of you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
and
right,
I think she
right.
just came out of a marriage and she's realizing like, I just don't have that much to give just anyone. So I just want to do it for
No,
the
I
right
totally
person.
respect that.
100%.
Definitely.
I really like that. A
I
lot.
think that's cool. Yeah.
Did you know any of the women before you came on the show?
I knew Shawnee.
You know Shawnee.
Yeah,
Okay.
because when I worked for the Lakers,
Oh, yeah.
Shaq was on the team, and so I knew Shawnee then. And then, you know, kind of someone kept in touch, and we saw each other, you know, and such, you know. But it was nice to actually be around her. Because I really like her and she's a really good person, and I've become very close with Evelyn. So me and Evelyn are, you know, always texting and, you know, getting together and so forth. I'm going to go see her in Arizona. So
that's
I really like
nice.
Evelyn and Tammy too. Tammy's a hoot. She's just so funny.
This is
She's
my favorite
hilarious.
season of seeing Tammy.
Yeah.
Every time she comes on, she looks amazing.
Doesn't she look
She
gorgeous?
Yeah, she does.
So good this season.
She's like getting better with age.
She really is. She's
She
like
is,
a fine
yeah.
wine.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love
right.
it.
She is slaying like every episode. In this episode too, she had some shirt, like a kind of embellished sequence shirt on. I loved it.
Yeah,
though.
she looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I like her. I really like her. Some people before I did the show, it's so funny. Before I did the show, so many people were like, "Oh, okay, you're probably Bond was." You know, they're trying to figure out like how I am. They're like, "I don't know. You may like Tammy, you may not." And I love Tammy, so she's great, and you know, she's a straight shooter, so I like that.
I love that.
That
I
is
love
cool.
it. I love
So
it.
those three are the girls, you know, that I actually, you know, besides Kristen, because I knew Kristen from before as well. And the other ones, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, they're bad people. They're just, you know, not my cup of tea.
Right. It's
Sure.
like just not your thing.
You gotta find your tribe.
Right.
You know?
You do. You know.
Find your tribe.
Or like Jackie, just try to build one and, you know, see who works, see who doesn't.
Girl, she just keeps putting people on top of people and everybody just runs away.
Right? It's like
thing.
just have you in Malaysia and call it a day. You know what I mean?
Right.
But she's trying to build this army. And at first, when Evelyn was bringing this up, I felt like she was kind of feeling herself too much because Evelyn felt like, oh, Jackie may be threatened now that I'm here. But then when she broke it down, it kind of made sense because Jackie did kind of have Tammy and Shawnee on her side a little
Right.
bit. But Tammy and Shawnee are closer to Evelyn. So when she
course.
comes back in town, like, okay, yeah, these are really my friends.
Right.
So then
And
Jackie
real
kind of,
friends.
yeah, and real friends. So now Jackie kind of feels like an outsider and also like maybe weak in the situation because she doesn't have anyone on her side.
And there definitely is like a kind of a divide now, like
Yeah.
a line in the sand. If you can kind of, I don't know if you can kind of see like the two different kind of a line.
You know,
Yes,
yeah, it
feels
is.
like
Yeah.
it, but it's you know that's to be expected. I think when you keep isolating yourself and you keep drawing that line yourself,
Yeah.
Right.
You're gonna end up kind of just drawing a box around yourself, you know. And
Right.
it just I feel like that's what Jackie has done over the really this season for
Yeah.
sure. But over the past couple of months, all I've just seen of her is just a lot of running her mouth before she knows what she's really talking about. A lot of just kind of, and I think that her intentions are pure because I think deep down Jackie has a good heart. But to me, I think Jackie's biggest problem is Jackie. You know what I mean? Like I think she gets
That's very
Yeah.
much.
she gets
yeah.
in her own way time after time
Very
after
true.
time.
Right.
You know? I'm like, girl, just take a step back and just be real. You
Right.
know?
And also just chill out. You don't have to be involved in everything.
Well, that's what it is. I
Everything.
think she kind of wants to be friends with everyone.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, and wants to make sure that everyone kind of likes her. So then she goes to different people. When, you know, at a certain age, you kind of just like, I don't care if you like me or not. That's
Right.
where I'm at. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm going to be me. And if you like me, you like me. If you don't, I'm not going to lose sleep over it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm fine. And she, you know, and I think she just wants to make sure she's at, you know, invited to everything. And I don't want to be invited somewhere, y'all, if I'm not ask to be there and
Right,
or
exactly.
feel upset about it. Like, I'm good. You know, and I think she needs to get in that kind of space in her head that she's okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because she's not, I actually, have had some conflict with her, but at the same time, I actually don't think she's like a bad person. I think there's, where I can see that she has a big heart when I've tried to tell her educate her about animals, like stop wearing your fur coats, and then I show her video. She's like, oh my gosh, like, so I don't think, you can see that she has a sensitive side. I don't know if she's just trying to prove something.
Yeah. And I think a piece of her also, like, she just wants to stay young forever, like forever young. And it's like, it's okay if you do that in a certain way, if you still are an adult about the situation and how you maneuver. But with her, it's like she's still messy in certain things. And
you can't do that anymore.
Yeah,
Like, you
no.
gotta, like you said, like, there's certain things you have to kind of change, like from the way you dress, the way you act. Like, you can still go to Disneyland and have fun and be silly with your girlfriends and all that, but there's a certain, like, thing that you gotta just, like, and be the bigger person at times, or take the high road, and it's fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you're, that someone is gonna look down on you because you didn't stand up for yourself. Sometimes you just walk away,
Right? Yeah.
I mean,
I get that.
To me, as far as like a playing field goes, or in my brain, I sort of look at Jackie. Jackie could be like Shawnee. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like she, or maybe she wants to be sort of the mothering type, the nurturing type, the one, I think she just keeps getting her in her own way the whole time. But to me, that's like, I view them as equals. I just feel like Jackie, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Really,
I'm looking at you to see what you're thinking.
No, I
Yeah.
think, who popped into my head? The mom from Mean Girls.
Oh,
Like
Oh, yeah.
Amy Poehler?
Yeah, she
Yeah,
played.
yes. I love that movie.
I'm not an old mom. I'm a cool mom.
Right?
Yes, I love that
Exactly.
movie.
And I think like she wants to be motherly, but she
Yes.
also wants to be, all in with the
Right.
young girls and what
Yes.
they're doing and things like that. So I can see, but Shawnee, she knows her place, she knows her position.
That's what I'm
And I
trying to
think
say.
that's-
I
yeah.
think that Shawnee knows how to do what Jackie is trying to do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the point I was trying to make. We
Yeah.
got
And Shawnee's really smart, when it comes to business and it comes to, look at what she's done.
Yeah.
She's built her empire and still being a great mother. And so I think Jackie maybe should kind of try to follow in those footsteps.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I think sometimes Jackie's forcing certain friendships too with certain girls on the show that aren't happening organically. And
Yeah.
so like with me, it's like I'm not forcing. It's like who I just feel like the most compatible with. You know what I'm saying? Because even like with friendship, you kind of see who you would hang out with, who things that you have in common, and and not forcing it.
Right.
Yep. Well, speaking of building an empire, you lady have built quite an empire for yourself. Do you still have a clothing line?
I do. Double Play Sportswear, and it's
Okay.
in NBA arenas. And we're actually going to do like a side type of apparel line as well. And we're going to be releasing it soon. So I'll keep you guys posted, and we're going to have that on the show as well.
Oh, yeah, that
That's
is
so
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
What kind of apparel is it?
So we do, for the NBA, it's obviously just like teams, but now with the offset, it's going to be something like, when you kind of like travel, like, because I'm always like to be like comfy. So when you're traveling, when you're working out, different type of, kind of, lounge.
Okay, I was gonna say like loungewear, but it's still with the teams
Yeah.
and stuff.
No.
Oh no, not with
one-
the. Oh,
yeah.
this is gonna be separate.
Yeah, this will be separate
okay.
as well, so it won't have any of the teams on it, but it's, for me, like when I run errands, I still want to look cute but
Yes.
comfortable, so it's kind of like the cute, comfortable type.
Especially the airport traveling. You want to be comfortable, but then you want to be cute.
Just
You
in
don't
case you
wanna
see
be-
someone, who, like, and you look, a hot mess, you
Right.
still like look cute,
Right.
but
Exactly.
you can look cute, but you could still like snuggle up against the window and like
Yeah.
fall out if you want it, right?
I love it. I love that. That's
Exactly.
perfect.
I will
Double Play
definitely be
Sportswear
looking
is
out
what
for
it's
that.
called.
Yes,
Double Play
definitely.
Sportswear. Is there a website?
Yes, dpsportswear.com.
Love it.
Yes,
Love it.
and so it's me and my best friend who cheer with me on the Niners, and so we have been doing this for a while, and
Yeah.
now we're just trying to kind of keep going different places. And Forever 21 is going to pick up our line as well.
Okay, I was just about to
Awesome.
ask, what is it in stores?
Yeah,
so that's
so we'll
awesome.
see it there as well, because unfortunately you can do like the high end, but it's like sometimes that mediocre, it's more like quantity. You're going
Yeah.
to get a lot more girls who are going to buy stuff. So we're kind of doing the high end stuff when it comes to the NBA,
Yeah.
and then kind of the mediocre.
Love
That's
it.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
And
amazing.
it's going to be shown on the show?
Yes.
Oh, that's going to be great too.
Yeah, so we're going to do
So-
that.
I can't
so
wait.
yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, and then we'll eventually, if I go on and do the next season, 'cause I haven't decided yet, maybe do more with it.
Yeah.
Now, are there any red signature Baywatch swimsuits in that line?
No, I know.
We
I
can't
only, I only have
those?
2 left. I've kept them, and everyone goes, "You should sell them." I'm like, "No." I
Oh
gotta
my
keep
gosh,
it."
that is because you were on what? How many? 4 or 5 episodes
Yes.
of Baywatch? That's amazing.
Yes.
So have you seen the
I was-
new
did you see the
film that
movie? Yeah.
just came out with The Rock and Zac Efron?
No, but I heard it's bad.
I heard it's not great. I'm not gonna lie.
I
I do
mean-
know Kelly Rohrbach.
Sorry, I got it. Choking.
No, you're fine.
You're okay, girl. Get your water. I do know one of the girls, Kelly Rohrbach, and I were in an acting class
Yeah.
together.
Oh, which
Yes.
way? Which one is she?
The blonde, the tall, skinny blonde that
The
was
blonde.
just
Oh, okay. You're right.
just on the front of Cosmopolitan, I believe.
Okay.
She was just on the
I
front of
think I-
that. So, you know, like, we're basically doing the exact same things with our life. Not.
Yes.
I've not been on the front of Cosmopolitan magazine, but we're
You're gonna
getting
get there. You claim it and you put it
right,
into
girl.
existence.
I will
and
see
you'll
you
be
soon,
there.
Cosmo.
Yeah, it was funny because when they kept talking about they're going to do a movie.
Right.
It never happened, and finally it's like, oh, The Rock. But then it's like a comedy, so it's so different from
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
the
from
TV
the
show.
actual show. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and I was only on for 5 episodes, but I had such a great time, and it was such a. At the time, it was so iconic, and it was just
Yeah.
cool to be like in that, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like you're on in the heyday.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Hasselhoff. And,
Yeah.
You know.
The whole night.
So I haven't seen it.
You
Okay.
haven't seen it. Did you at least go to the premiere or any
No,
parties
I
for
was
it?
going to
No?
because it was in Miami, and so I couldn't. It wasn't
Oh,
here.
okay.
Oh, that's a bummer.
yeah.
Wait, how's the Hoff? Do you guys keep in touch?
No, but I see him every now and then.
Okay.
and
Oh, yeah.
She's
Sure.
amazing.
I that's like an energy that I would
He
just
doesn't
like,
really
kill to be
age. I
around.
feel like he looks the same.
Yeah, it
He
seems
does.
like he
Yeah.
does.
He actually does
Did
look
you
pretty
think a
good.
little
Yeah.
bit?
No. Yeah. He looks the same.
He seems very much the same since he did on that show. I always had a crush on Hobie. Did you? I did. I had a crush on Hobie.
That was his son. The son, right?
Yeah. I think there was one episode that I remember. Like,
I love
he,
that she knows. She goes, "That's son, right?"
Yeah. And you were like 12.
Right.
I think I was 12. You were probably like 4. No, but I think there was like one episode where he like rescued a girl on a jet ski and like they went off to a cove and had a kiss. And I was like,
Oh yes, they did. I
wanna
remember
be
that.
kissing Kobe on a jet ski somewhere. I don't know. Anyway.
But yeah, it was such a fun show. It was so long ago, and it wasn't like you had to have the best acting chops or anything. But it was more just a fun. You know.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so fun. And
So
then
I keep coughing. I've got these allergies, and I can't get rid of it.
that's
No,
girl,
it's
Southern
allergy
California
season
allergies
and-
Yes.
are no joke.
Not at all.
No joke. I actually went to Stagecoach like 9 or 10 weeks ago, however long it was, and lost my voice completely out there, and it still has not come back.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
no.
Like I have
There's
no,
something about the pollen or something like, recently.
It's
And,
really
I
strong.
travel so much, I'm always getting these like bad allergies. So sorry for my coughing attack.
That's
You're
okay.
fine.
It's all good, girl.
Now, I want to get into a little bit of some predictions. I don't know if you can maybe
Oh,
spill
okay.
a little tea, maybe.
Okay.
But the
Now, your AfterBuzz
prediction. Lights too?
No lights.
No
today.
lights. Okay.
Oh, look at
Oh, it's so scary.
But the rest of the season, it is about to get interesting. So Jennifer is coming back,
you. Yep.
and they showed a little clip, and I must say, I said it, that Evelyn wasn't going to be able to stay on her straight and narrow too long.
You
And
did well.
I don't know exactly who she's going at it with, but yeah, Evelyn's about to snap soon.
Well, we did see a little sneak peek of Jennifer at
Yeah.
whose book was it?
Tammy.
Jackie
Oh,
crashed.
Tammy had her
Oh,
book.
Ta-
Her Mistress
Tammy had her
101.
book,
Right.
and Jackie crashed it. Yes. So I do
In
remember
her fur coat.
Yeah.
in her fur coat, girl.
From like Koala Deville, but that's all right.
And like I said it then, and I'll say it again, but like we live in LA. Is it
It's
ever necessary?
never that cold.
No,
to
it's
wear a
never
fur
that
coat.
cool. And John Sally, it's so funny. He's a good friend of mine, and I'm sure you guys know
Yeah,
John because he's
uh-huh.
sometimes the mediator for the reunion. He said to me, because he's a big animal activist as well, the best way to tell a woman not to wear a fur coat is tell them how fat they look in it, because you always look kind of big in it because it's big.
do, yeah.
So
he goes,
big.
they won't care maybe about the animals, but they will never wear that coat again. Because he said he's
Oh.
told women, God, that coat makes you look fat. And then they're like, okay, that's going to Goodwill tomorrow.
John Sally.
wow.
I
But that's a good way to put it, right?
No, it
Yes.
is.
I
So
would
it
get
is.
rid of mine.
You don't look
I don't
thin when
have
you wear a
one.
fur coat.
No.
You don't.
No.
They're so big and
Bulky.
poofy.
Well, because
yeah.
they're meant to be. They're meant to keep you warm. We live in a
Yeah.
place that's 75 and sunny, like
Yeah.
365 days a year. Is there ever a reason to wear a fur coat in LA?
Never.
No.
Is what I want to know. But anyway, so we saw a little piece of Jennifer at
Then,
that,
yeah.
at that, but we didn't really get to hear from her.
Right, she
so now
didn't
we
say
get
anything,
to.
and so there were rumors like Evelyn had the power to stop her from being on the show, and so when we saw her there but didn't speak, I'm like, well, wow, maybe she really did have that power, but now
Yeah.
You see, otherwise.
Because same thing, we weren't sure either. We kept hearing, you know, as a cast,
Oh,
we weren't
wow.
sure, and then all of a sudden she was there. So
They kept that on wraps, like for real. So
very
I'm-
much so.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. So I think her, Jennifer and Evelyn are going to sit down and have a talk. And I think that, not Evelyn, but Jennifer, she started to become more like into herself and standing up for herself more. So I think during that talk, I feel like Jennifer is the one that's going to let Evelyn have it when they have a little conversation.
I guess time will tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. You're
Yeah.
close to Evelyn.
Yeah, I mean, they were such good friends, so it's actually always sad when you see friends like that.
That is true,
you
though.
know, end up going down that path. But at the same time, you know, what Evelyn has told me is that, you know, Jennifer kind of crossed her, you know, with a lot of things, and sometimes things are unrepairable. You can be cordial, you can be fine with each other, but you're never going to be able to be back where you were because there's a trust, you know, issue now, you know,
It's
and
broken.
you know how us women are. Once you
Yeah.
know, go
hard to get
down,
back.
yeah,
Yes, definitely.
we're very, you know, tough about that, you know, and then it always sticks, you know, always analyzing,
And then anything that they do, it may,
right?
you know,
With
you
men or
questioning
women,
it.
men or women,
everything.
you know, if a man lies to you or a woman lies to you, you always are like, I
Yep.
don't trust you now.
Yeah, and maybe rightfully so. You know,
possibly,
Maybe
yeah.
Right.
rightfully so.
And I don't know, you know, the details, so you know, I'm just as an outsider, but you know, that's
She's got some big shoes to fill. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
I think she's got some proving to do and some big shoes to fill. So that will be interesting to see.
Yeah, to see
Right.
how this all plays out.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Bonnie, thank you so much for joining
thank
us.
you.
Yes,
This
so
was
fun.
awesome.
Yeah, and thank you for embracing me and enjoying the show and you know, enjoying that I'm kind of, you know, different in the pack.
Oh, you are a breath of fresh air,
Yeah.
my
Aw,
friend.
thank
you. Thank you for everything that you do, that you bring to the show, and just your platform is
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh,
So
thank you guys, I appreciate it.
thank
That was
you,
fun.
thank you. Yeah.
Tell everyone where they can meet you. Not meet you, but
Find
find
follow
stalkers
you.
and
I'm
stuff
like,
like that.
I don't know if I feel like comfortable with my address. I'll tell y'all, but I don't know about. But at
Where they
BJ
can find you.
Laflin and at Bonnie-Jill.
Perfect. And I'm Laura L. Thomas. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Laura L. Thomas TV.
And I'm Lynneisha. You guys can find me at Lynneisha_33 on Instagram and on Twitter. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you guys next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.